Good evening. I'm Mayor Ron Nirenberg with Bexar County Judge Nelson Wolff. We're joined tonight by Dr. ANITA KURIAN, who is our Assistant Director of San Antonio Metro Health, and this is our COVID-19 update for the San Antonio community. Tonight we're reporting 96 new cases of COVID-19, which brings the total number to 199,065. Our 7-day rolling average has dipped to 168. Unfortunately, we do have 3 new deaths to report this evening. We've now lost 2,856 of our neighbors, friends, and family members to COVID-19. As we remind you every night, please keep their friends and family in your prayers this evening. Each one of these numbers that we have reported over the year is a loved one who is deeply missed. We are seeing more improvements in the hospitals tonight. There are 250 COVID-19 patients in local hospitals. This is the lowest number of patients, again, we've seen since early November. That number continues to tick down. There are 34 new admissions in the last 24 hours, 112 patients in the ICU, and 73 are on ventilators. Again, with the numbers moving in the right direction, please do not let your guard down. We continue to ask you to wear masks and practice social distancing as we continue to get vaccines out in our community. And speaking of vaccines, as of yesterday in Bexar County, we now have 306,754 people who have received their first dose, and now 180,625 people who are fully vaccinated. Today, the state did announce that Phase 1C of vaccination eligibility will start on March 15th. This will include those who are 50 and older, an age group for which there is strong and consistent evidence of COVID-19's life-threatening effects. Preventing the disease among people in this age group will dramatically reduce the number of Texans who die across all races, ethnicities, and occupations. As Texas progresses into the 1C category in the coming weeks, the state will continue to work with vaccine providers and other local partners to ensure that people who are eligible in all the phases right now, Phase 1A, 1B, and 1C, do have access to the vaccine. So let's, again, continue to wear our masks and social distance as we work to get more people vaccinated in our community. Let me turn it now to Judge Wolff.
Yeah, thanks, Mayor. And all the numbers are certainly moving in the right direction. And I was out at Lowe's, I guess, today, a couple places, and everywhere I went there, people were wearing face masks. A friend of mine was at North Star Mall, which is a lot of people there. He said just very few people didn't have them on. So I think by far, the vast majority of citizens are responding to individual responsibility, and let's hope that they keep that up so we can get out of here, out of this terrible thing. This Saturday, we're going to do a little different in terms of the vaccinations. We're going to focus on healthcare workers that have missed getting their shots. And we're also going to take Edgewood Independent School District, Northeast, and Harlandale as we work through their superintendents. So we'll be doing all of that Saturday out at Wonderland Mall. Again, I want to highlight the businesses that are continuing to do the mask program. It's really enlightening to see many of them do that. Black Laboratory Brewing, a bar doing it, Clementine Restaurant, Curly Boy Barbecues. There's some really cool names here. The Dog Father on San Pedro, that's hot dogs, and the Drink Tank. He's going to continue to do the mask. Paloma Blanca Mexican Restaurant on Broadway, owned by Richard Peacock, is going to continue to do it. And Goodwill, they have 1,500 people working there, and they're going to continue to do all of it. The Great Clips and Limited Sports Academy. So the business community is really stepping up and helping us a great deal on this. I'm kind of excited about this coming Friday, not tomorrow, but the next day. It will be the first game in the arena today for the Spurs. They are going to hold their attendance down to just 22% of the available seats. They're going to require masks, temperature tests before you come in. Very responsible. We've also spent $2,238,000 on the A&T Center preparing it for COVID. We have a touchless ticket scanner, hand sanitizer locations. We have a touchless plumbing. We got plexiglass barriers. We got a HVAC, air conditioning and heating system that's going to generate more fresh air, and it's important to do that because it'll travel a lot quicker without good fresh air. and we made a number of other improvements to it. So I think you're going to be safe going to the game, and we hope the Spurs come through and win a game for us.
Great. Thank you very much, Judge. I do want to remind you that if you'd like to sign up for vaccine alerts as appointments become available, you can do so by texting vaccine or vacuna to 55000. You'll get a text alert as soon as there are more appointments available at any one of the public labs that are providing vaccines. Also, if you're interested in our recovery programs, if you're having trouble paying the rent or mortgage through this crisis, you can access our emergency housing assistance program by calling 311 or going to the website covid19.sanantonio.gov. And if you're out of work, have lost an income, and would like to enroll in our training program, there's training for jobs available today in our community while you receive a stipend to make ends meet. You can enroll at 210-224-HELP. Or you get more information by calling 311. As always, you can get the latest on COVID-19 by texting COSAGov to 55000 or by going to the website covid19.sanantonio.gov. Continue to do your part. Everyone in our community is really pulling together to make sure that we put an end to this pandemic, and you're doing a great job. Thank you to all the business members out there, all the residents who are still wearing the masks and practicing social distancing. Please continue to do that. Mask up, practice social distancing and proper hygiene. Do it for yourself, do it for your family, and do it for San Antonio. With that, Dr. KURIAN, myself, and the judge are available for questions.
Could you discuss your views on the expansion of vaccine eligibility to those over 50 beginning March 15th? How will this affect the vaccine supply? Will Metro Health have to make additional preparations? Would this increase demand too much, or will the approval of the J&J vaccine alleviate some of that demand?
Well, I don't think we have the J&J yet. I know George Hernandez is telling me just a few minutes ago they've asked, and they have no promise for the next week or two to even bring it in. And that's what's, again, frustrating about the state. You know, as the mayor said, we've done 306,000 first dose, but you got to remember, anybody in the area can come here. In fact, anybody from Texas can come here and get one. I'm not sure what percent of those are. So we still got a long ways to go to fend our healthcare workers, school teachers, and personnel in the schools, and 65 and older. We're going to concentrate on that. We're not going to be available spots by Monday for 50 and older. We got to concentrate on doing the ones that we need to do, which is 65 and older, which is a very vulnerable population. And so they're just not getting us the vaccines. We say it over and over. It's just very frustrating.
Yeah, and that eligible population now, which is Phase 1A, 1B, and 1C now, comprises 75% of our entire population. So about 1.6 million people in our community are now eligible to receive the vaccine, but we're still getting roughly the same numbers here. So there is still a supply and demand imbalance that we need to have corrected by getting more distributions from the state or the federal government. We talked about the fact that we have this V8 sitting in the driveway, but we can't use it unless we put gas into it. We have the infrastructure to get vaccines out. We just need more doses.
Dr. KURIAN, will Metro Health have to make adjustments and additional preparations to deal with the expanded pool of eligibility?
Yes, I think Mayor and the judge have already touched upon this. We have just expanded the pool of eligible folks, but not increased the allocations. So we certainly have to make a lot of adjustment in terms of our messaging. We have to give out the message that this is a population now that is eligible to get the vaccine. Mayor just made that statement. About 2.1 million residents of Bexar County just heard that statement. We will change our information on our website to reflect this information, this new information. Our community health workers who are pounding the pavement every day, block walking every day to enroll folks to the mass vaccination sites now will be also recruiting 50 and older. But again, like the mayor and the judge said, we have slightly about 1.6 million people now who fall into this eligible criteria, and we've only fully vaccinated only about 11% of that population. So we still have a long way to go, and unless the allocations increase, it's going to add to the frustrations. So we all have to be patient and hope that the allocations go up from the state.
Were you able to track the number of calls for service from businesses that needed help enforcing its mask policy today, and were there any arrests?
The sheriff, I just talked to him a little bit earlier today. There has not been any calls, so that indicates to me that citizens are doing the right thing and that businesses are doing the right thing. If they're not having confrontations, I think that's terrific.
Yeah, I'm awaiting an update on our side at the city, but I think it's the same dynamic. You've really seen great leadership among our business community, making it very clear for what they can expect when people walk in there. So right now I haven't had any reports of arrests or even calls, but I'll check on that.
What is the message you would like to send to those who are out and about downtown and at places now fully open once again for the first time in about a year?
Enjoy yourself, but wear a mask.
Yeah, it's really important. And again, really need to drive that message to those that are 20 to 29. We know that you think you're Superman and you're not going to get sick, and you probably won't. But please remember, you can bring it home to mother and grandmother and a lot of other people that may have bad health conditions. So please, in this group, be extremely careful.
What do the continuous downward trends mean, and why do we think we're seeing them?
You know, I think the message is sunk in. You know, people know that the public health guidance is important if we care about one another and we want to see health return to this community. I think people see how hard our frontline healthcare workers are having to work during this pandemic. Our first responders they're interacting with the people who have been on the front lines of this pandemic for almost a year now. And they care about them too and want to ease their burden, so they're wearing masks and doing what they need to do. And I hope that continues even as some of these orders change from the state.
Yeah, I think the mayor answered it just right on.
That's all we have tonight. Thank you.